To prep the gathered T-back bodice, we need to place a gathering stitch along the raw curved edge of the back bodice pieces. Adjust the gathered edges to be the same length as the back bodice middle piece. Starting with one side, place the back bodice middle piece right sides together with the back bodice piece. Pin or clip along the raw edge. Sew or serge to complete this seam. Repeat this process with the remaining backside piece. Sew or serge to complete this seam. To construct your bodice, place the front and back bodice pieces right sides together. Pin or clip along the side edges and sew or serge to complete this seam. Find the middle of your armband and mark with a pin. With your bodice wrong side out, place the right side of your armband on the bodice. Match the middle pin of the armband to the side seam of your bodice. Continue to pin or clip the armband to your bodice, stretching as you go. Sew or serge to attach the band using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Turn your bodice right side out. Press the seam away from your bodice. Fold the raw edge of your armband towards the seam. Fold the armband once again towards the bodice and pin or clip. Continue to do this all the way around the armband. Repeat this process with your remaining armband. Top stitch your armband to secure. To attach the neckband, first we need to place a pin a 1/2 inch away from each raw edge. Why, hello, Kitty. I'm so glad you chose to come grace us with your presence. Fold your neckband in half and mark the middle with a pin. Repeat this process with the back neckband as well. Mark the middle of your front bodice with a pin. We're going to repeat the process we just did on our armbands with our neckband. Turn your bodice inside out. We'll start by matching our neckband and bodice middle pins. Place the neckband right side down on your bodice and pin. Starting with one side, bring the pin we previously placed to the end of the neckline. Pin your neckband right side down at this point. You will have a 1/2 inch overhang of your neckband. Repeat this process on the opposite side and continue to pin the neckband in place, stretching as you go. Repeat this process with the back bodice. Sew or serge to complete these seams with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Turn your bodice right side out. Press the seam away from the neckline. Fold the raw edge of the neckband towards the seam. Fold the neckband once more towards the bodice. Pin or clip, stretching as you go. Repeat this process with your back bodice. Top stitch the neckband to secure. Turn your bodice right side facing out. Mark the middle of your fold-over elastic armband with a pin. From here on out, I'm going to refer to the fold-over elastic as FOE. Place the middle pin of your FOE armband on the bodice, right sides together. Fold the FOE over the raw edge and pin. Continue folding the FOE armband over the raw edge of your armscye, stretching as you go. Pin or clip to hold in place. Repeat this process with the remaining armscye. Top stitch your fold-over elastic, making sure to catch both sides 1/8 inch away from the raw edge of the elastic. Place a pin a 1/2 inch away from the raw edge on each end of your neckband. Repeat this process with your back neckband. Find the middle of your front neckband and mark with a pin. Find the middle of your front neckline and mark your bodice with a pin. Repeat this process with your back neckline and back neck band. Match the middle pin of the front neckband with the middle pin of the front bodice. Fold the elastic over the raw edge and pin in place. Starting at one end of the elastic, bring the marker pin to the end of the neckline. Fold the elastic over the neckline and pin in place. Repeat this process with the remaining side of the neck elastic. Pin or clip the neck elastic in place, stretching as you go. Follow these same steps for the back neck elastic. Top stitch your elastic 1/8 inch away from the raw edge. Make sure to catch both the top and the bottom of the folded elastic. Find the middle of your Picot Elastic armband and mark with a pin. With your bodice, right side facing up, match the middle pin to the middle of your arm side. Place the elastic on the bodice with the decorative edge away from the raw edge. Pin in place and continue pinning to the arm side, stretching as you go. Repeat this process with your remaining arm side. Top stitch the Picot elastic to your bodice using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Fold the seam towards the wrong side of the bodice, pinning or clipping as you go. Top stitch your elastic 1/8 inch away from the raw edge to secure. Place a pin a 1/2 inch away from the edge on each end of your neckband. Mark the middle of your front bodice neckline with a pin. Place the elastic on your bodice with the decorative edge of the elastic away from the raw edge of your neckline. Match the middle pins and pin in place. Bring the pin at the end of your elastic to the end of your neckline and pin in place. This will leave a 1/2 inch overhang on your neckband. Repeat this process with the opposite side of your neckband and continue to pin or clip the neckband in place, stretching as you go. Repeat this process with the back neckband. Sew or serge to attach your elastic using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Fold the seam towards the wrong side of the bodice, pinning or clipping as you go. Top stitch your elastic 1/8 inch away from the raw edge to secure. For fold over elastic straps, fold your elastic in half and top stitch along the raw edges. For fabric straps, fold your strap in half, right sides together, and pin or clip along the raw edge. Sew or serge along the raw edge using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I recommend adding elastic to the seam. Use your favorite tube turner to turn your straps right side out. Find the middle of your back bodice and mark with a pin. Place your scoop back straps together in the middle of your back bodice and pin or clip in place. Place your crisscross strap along the back neckline using the placement guide found in your pattern piece. Pin or clip in place. Top stitch the straps to secure. Starting on one side of your bodice, bring your crisscross strap to the top of your neckline. This will leave a 1/2 inch overhang above your crisscross strap. Pin or clip in place. Place the scoop back strap directly below your crisscross strap and pin or clip in place. Repeat this process on the opposite side. Top stitch the straps to secure. To complete your garment, turn your bodice wrong side out. Bring the shoulders of your bodice together. We will not be sewing at the ends of the straps. We will be sewing below the 1/2 inch overhang. I like to open my bodice where I think that I'm going to sew to check and make sure that the shoulders look like cat ears. Once I have my shoulders clipped in place to my liking, I use a fabric marker to mark that line. Then I pin or clip above and below the line that I've marked. Repeat this process with the opposite side. Stitch along the line that you've marked. Open the seams and top stitch the seams to secure. This is what your shoulders will look like when done. Fold your elastic in half and overlap the edges by a 1/2 inch. Pin or clip and top stitch to secure. Pin your bra elastic and bodice opening in quarters. This video is full of all of my tiny helpers. Place the elastic on the wrong side of your bodice at the raw edge. Match the quarter pins and continue to pin or clip in place, stretching as you go. Sew or serge the elastic in place using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Make sure to stretch the elastic as you attach. Fold the elastic towards the wrong side of your bodice and pin or clip to secure. Top stitch your elastic using a zigzag stitch or a stretch stitch 1/8 inch away from the edge of your elastic. To secure your double layer Brami, pin along the side seam of your bodices. Stitch in the ditch for 1 inch, securing the bodices together. And this is what it will look like when you're done.